up, salute. We're about to read Carlito's Way by Edwin Torres. So we're about to take a trip to 1940 Spanish Harlem. All right then, without further ado, let the reading commence. Let me turn this brighter here. Cool. Chapter 2. The 50s came in strong for me, like dance crazy. The St. Nick's Arena, the Manhattan Center, the Cabrojeño, Broadway Casino. Seems like everybody was dancing their ass off. The Tigers would go to the Cabo and the BC. The down PRs would go to the Palladium. The Manhattan Center would be the place for Easter. Maybe 6 bands, followed by a riot where 3 or 4 guys would be thrown off the balcony. One Easter was maybe 200 cats rumbling, tables crashing, bottles flying, and in the middle of this Noro Morales on the bandstand, "Please, we are Puerto Rican peoples, no fight." I laughed so hard I could hardly swing my chair. The bands were hot. Machito, Puente, Rodriguez, Curbelo, Marcelino Guerra. They were all gigging. The main joint was the Palladium on 53rd Street and Broadway. The owner was a Jew named Max. But if you looked around, you knew he had friends. All the help was wops. The bouncers were something else. Real class. Like some jíbaro would throw a right hand, they'd catch his fist in midair, lift him off his feet, his little shoes, kicking in the air, rush him to the back door, parallel to the ground like a torpedo. A bouncer had the door ready. He's gone, head first, down a flight of concrete steps. The dancers wouldn't even break stride. But the house wouldn't buck with the wise guys. We brought in the bread, drank J&B, had the sharp broads, lots of dressing in those days, dark suits, roll collars, skinny silk ties, short hair, dapper as a Russian pimp. Fridays was our night. All the hustlers were there. 103rd Street, 106th, 107th, 111th, 116th, Mario, Guajiro, Toñín, Cano. Everybody was cool, except maybe if the Viceroys and the Turbans was there on the same night. I would back out then because I was tight with both cliques and couldn't take sides when they'd get it on. Sorry. Carl Anderson, salute to you. God bless you too. Now then, I would back out then because I was tight with both cliques and couldn't take sides when they'd get it on. I always had my table with my own crew. Tato and Victor Lopez, Lalin, Monkey, Colorado. Salty motherfuckers all. I was the main man. None of us was too smart then, but my hands were the best. And in them days, there was still duking with the fists. At least among the spics. We was small timing in them days. Thievery, nickel bags, and strong arm. The broads were all over. We team up mostly with horse. Who else is going to snort coke with you in an after hours joint or see you go for a yard when your bread is down. My old lady then was from India. My old lady then was India from 113th Street. She was underage, and her mother was going to lock me up. But after the kid was born, we was okay. She was the most beautiful mulatta uptown, but she had this thing about being white. Kept talking about the kid having good hair. PRs used to make a big thing about hair in them days. This guy's got good hair. This guy bad. This guy suspicious hair. Me? I never give a fuck. Guess I was ahead of my time. Mainly India was good people, but she was just a kid and very wacky. Like, we'd be coming out of a restaurant with some people and she'd jump on my back. Carlito, carry me piggyback. Hey, I was already a mature cat, done time, respected. India's mother didn't go for me. I was a thug. Meanwhile, I know for a fact the old lady used to turn tricks in her day. Had a fine body, just like her daughter. All them India broads got fine bodies. Anyway, we didn't last long. The two of them and the baby, a girl, Prudencia, that was the grandmother's name, ended up in Florida with some Air Force guy India married. She had some shape, India did, like a guitar. You knew someday she was gonna turn into a bull fiddle. But in the meantime, some good strumming, Jack. Believe that. Wednesdays was celebrity night at the Palladium. All the showbiz and Jews doing cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, 3. Marlon Brando sit in on conga. Couldn't play to save his ass. Out of town people, shit like that. All into Latin music. I say that put the Spicks on the map. I say that put the Spicks on the map. We wasn't all behind them little glass panes at Horn and Hard Art. Yeah, like a PR pot washer, like a PR pot washer could dance up a storm at the Palladium and walk out some fine out of town fox. Yeah, the old P was all right. Had a hell of a run too. The 40s, the 50s, right up to the early 60s. Then some lame was puffing on a joint one night, got next to a kitty and said she had to take a poke. In them days, marijuana was a big deal. The broad blew up, ran downtown and put the squeal on the Palladium to her boss, an assistant DA named of Kuh, who was already into being one of Hogan's main honchos. So now you got Shoe Fly checking out the P, and first thing down is a pimp named of Umberto beating up on two of his whores. And what does they see the house do? Shit. And what did they see the house do? Throw the broads down the stairs and buy Umberto a drink. This is an outrage, say Mr. Kerr. And the great Palladium raid was on. Except that by that time, all the heavy people knew it was coming off. Yeah, stool pigeons fly in both directions. So like, block all the exits, blow all the lights, everybody freeze! By the time they got the lights back on, all the guns, knives, and dope was on the floor and the bulls was running around, trying to match up who's this with the what's-its. It was a jive raid, but it It was a jive raid, but it blew the liquor license and the old P went under. Damn shame. Somebody always gotta mess up a good thing. Train's coming. I hope 3,000 trains don't come back and forth. Midway up the 50s, Earl Bassey sent word he wanted to Earl Bassey sent word he wanted to meet with me. I'd run into Earl from time to time. I knew he was big in policy up in Black Harlem. Sunday night at the Copa, I knew right away we was connected. So the wops are cutting loose. They've been hogging it all to themselves, finally giving the natives a break. I got myself all dolled up and went down. Big night at the Copa. The boys was all in their tears, according to rank. Cigars, white on white, pinky rings, the broads, roaming noses, with hair teased like Brillo. Every table like a little clique. One moment. Ralph reads raw, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing's edited, everything's straight away. Raw, natural. Every table like a little clique, with the boss playing his crew like he had a baton. He laughs, they laugh. He gets up, they get up. So it says to him, my Don Fonzo, he got some pair balls. He's a fucking cavone. I don't see a black face in the whole joint. I go back upstairs to the lounge and order a drink. I ain't there 5 minutes when there's a big commotion coming up from downstairs. This little blonde guy is raising hell. He's got 3 or 4 guys with him, spitters all. The maitre d' is pleading, please, Joey, please. I want to see this Jew cocksucker right here and right now. This little Jew comes off the bar. What's the trouble, Joey? What's the trouble? What kind of rat joint is this that I got to sit in the back? I don't wait around here. Where's my respect? Where's my respect? Joey, please. There's been a mix-up with the tables. We'll straighten it out. By this time, this Joey guy is stone white in the face. He whips out an automatic and starts banging it on top of the bar. Splinters flying. He's screaming, I'm gonna Shylock this joint. I am in. Starting next week, you're turning over to me. You hear, you fucking Jew bastard? Whatever you say, Joey. Whatever you say. The Jew was cool. Ice water. The Jew was cool. Ice water. Sweat was coming down my spine. Other people's beefs always scared me more than my own. I never seen such a show of cojones. There was 100 guys frozen there. Half of them had to be packing. Then they were gone. About that time, Earl came in, clean as always. He had with him a high yaller chick that wouldn't quit. Whoo-wee! I was still shook up. I told this wop Joey from Brooklyn. I told him this wop Joey from Brooklyn had terrorized the joint. Earl said he'd be bad as 10 sacks of motherfuckers, but he ain't coming back next week. He's crazy, but he ain't that crazy. This guy comes over and says to us, You're Mr. Fabrizi's guests. Well, all right. Rocco, you son of a bitch. I knew you was heavy in the mambo when I saw that table right down on the floor. Some mobbed up Jew comedian was on the floor and every joke was played to some capo at ringside, like Sonny this and Sonny that. I knew enough not to want to know who these guys were, but I was impressed. Heavy. About this time, slipping and sliding, Mr. Rocco Fabrizi. He looked like money. Tiny cufflinks, tiny watch, shoulders just right on the suit, rimless glasses in them days, warm smile. The guy could get to you. Did you marry her? Yes, Charles. I am now a Puerto Rican by proxy. We were bullshitting a while about upstate when Earl sent his broad upstairs. Let's hear the deal. Charles, there's a West Indian guy named Etienne uptown who got a nice little policy bank going for many years. This guy is right next to Earl here, but lately we feel he's loosening it up, getting old. Now there's some boys up there eyeballing old Etienne, and they're ready to bite. What we need is somebody to prop old Etienne up for a while, keep the wolves at bay, and then, when things are ripe, case him out to pasture, ease him out to pasture. Earl says, you're the man. That's great, and I can handle it. But why not take the old fart out right now? No good. Etienne has run a good bank since the 30s. People trust him. You can't remove him overnight. This will be done our way. Whatever you guys say. So now me and my boys were riding shotgun for old Etienne. We'd wake him up and put him to bed. He took a liking to me, and we'd rap in Spanish. He was a Haitian, but he spoke Spanish, English, and French. That smart old geezer owned buildings, dry cleaning stores, groceries, laundromats, you name it. But policy was his game. He was a genius at that. He knew all the dream books by heart. The Chinamen and the Daily News. He knew just when to lay off on certain numbers. It's like he would sense a heavy hit coming, like the plate numbers on the car, in the newspaper, or in the plane crash. He would start his own rumors about a special number being fixed for the controllers to hit. All his own bullshit. But he was always cooking. He staked people who needed money, helped a whole lot of people, and he always paid his hits. No hedging. I learned a lot from him. Old Etienne. Right away, I started earning my keep. The old man had the hots for some barmaid in the Heights in a joint called Carl's Corner. He dug that young poontang, even though at his age, I knew he was shooting blanks. So I was downtown in a bar when I got a call from the guy Snipe. Carlito, they got Mr. Etienne in the back of a short in front of Carl's. Cops? Wait, 1 second. One, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yo, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Carlito, Carlito. Train. Shit. 1, 2, 1, 2. Carlito, Carlito. They got Mr. NTN in the back of a short in front of cars. Cops? Club members with a sawed-off shotgun in his face. They want 20 large right away. I'll be right there. Meso, the bartender, loaned me this Army 45, plus I had my own 32 Beretta automatic. I cocked both pieces and jumped in the cab. I got off at 149th and Broadway. They were double parked in front of the joint, first in line facing uptown. I come from behind on the outside. I shove both automatics through the rear window, right in the guy's face. 2 spades, 1 shotgun, the old man between them. Make your move, motherfucker! Make it! Whoa, bro! I'll splash your face all over this motherfucking car! You right, man. You right. The old man got out okay, but his nerves were bad after that. He said I was crazy, but it wasn't like that. I just didn't give a fuck. Got a beef? Jump out in front. You be first. You be best. We checked Snipe out. He was wrong. Set NTN up. Somebody burned some holes in his clothes. Later for Snipe. That's funny. About that later for Snipe. About that time, the old man started staying at home in St. Albans. That was all right with me. Good bread coming in. Everything copacetic. Too good to last. I started moving around more. Had me over 20 suits, 300 a pop, from Layton's, Cy Martin, and Kronfeld's. All my boys stayed clean. We'd run down to Atlantic City, Club Harlem, 500 Club, even Miami and Puerto Rico. We'd have parties with 5 or 6. We'd have parties with 5 or 6 broads snorting coke and doing tricks. I started going to the Copa regular. If I caught the show, always a yard for the maitre d'. Mr. Brigante, right this way. I was palling around with a lot of wops from downtown and the West Bronx. Younger guys like me, not the prejudiced old hoods. The kids would say I was half a wop with my name, which is Corsican. Of course, there's a lot of... Of course. Wait. Of which there's a lot in PR. I'd think maybe I'm going to be the first made guy PR, and I'd say fanfango and your mother's cunt with the best of them. I should have known better. Earl would come down when he had something to say to Rocco. Neither one of them would party as much as me, and they'd be down on me for fucking around so much. I'd listen, cause I knew these cats was in my corner, but I couldn't see it. When you're high rolling in the bread, you're bound to be out there jumping come midnight every night. Rocco and Earl was businessmen, while as I was a jive-ass party man. But I'd complain anyway. Rocco, give me a break, huh? Earl here be a doctor of numerology, like Etienne. My numbers ain't my game, Rocco. I ain't got the patience. Give me a break. He wants to be the main skag uptown, Rocco. He think he can fuck with the feds. Charles, you've been handed a ready-made going concern. Etienne has the best runners in Harlem. He wants to be the main skag man uptown, Rocco. He think he can fuck with the feds. Charles, you've been handed a ready-made going concern. Etienne has the best runners in Harlem. Yeah, but I gotta work every day. Somebody's always trying to sneak in to lay hit or change a number on us. Then you gotta be an administrator. Then you got labor problems. What controller is humping what runner's wife? Rocco, I'm breaking my ass. The money's good, right? Slow coming. What do you think? What do you think, Earl? Carlito's okay, Rocco. The bank, Carlito's okay, Rocco. The bank's holding up. Okay, Mr. Carlito. Next time I have an auction, you may be invited. I'm ready, Rocco. I'm ready. Paint is very expensive, maybe $10,000 for a bucket. Money is only an object. I'll get it. Got it. Been there, done that. What are you kidding? I've been waiting since we left the El Rocco, right, Earl? I ain't got no beef with the policy game, Carlito. Since Rocco got me on the pad, I've been straight. Numbers is hard work, but it's clean. That don't mean I won't take a shot if I get a chance. Meantime, I'm cool. Junk shakes you up, huh, Earl? Earl is smart, Charles. He leaves well enough alone. He gets up early, he works hard, he sleeps nights. This other business is like Grand Prix racing. You have to keep your hands on the wheel at all times. You get the best engineers, the best mechanics, the best car, and they'll still run you into a wall. Train. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And they'll still run you into a wall. I don't recommend it to nobody. I don't recommend it to anybody. You're on a different level in that game. The air is very thin. You can choke on it. When did you ever know me to take a step back, Rocco? It's not that. I don't want later on, Rocco. I'm ready. Give me a break. Take care of things uptown. We're Earl here. Later on, we'll see. Meanwhile, uptown, some dudes is getting jealous. Spix is like that. I'm tooling around in a big car with a fine kitty. Instead of saying one of the boys made it, no, they got to get mad. That jive Carlito, he ain't shit. When's the last time he took to the street with a cat? They was gonna try me out again. Mistake. It came down this way. I had me a fabulous Jewish chick named of Honey, a stone freak, a blonde, educated too, but she dug wise guys. I played the Little Caesar shit for her, and she loved it. Train. She'd even come up to Harlem to meet me. One night, she was waiting for me in this joint near 111th Street and Fifth Avenue. These three kitty hoodlums came in, grabbed her fur coat right off her back. Tell Carlito that Chucho wants to see him. We'll hold your coat. Tell Carlito that Chucho wants to see him. We'll hold your coat. They were gone when I got there. Lucky for me, since I didn't have no peace on me, the brawl was all shook up. I told Guiso, the owner of the joint, tell Chucho I'll see him tomorrow. Tell Chucho I'll see him tomorrow night, right here. I'm very embarrassed about my fiance's coat. Make sure he brings the coat, and we'll work something out. Well, all right. Step right up. I dug the whole scene. That's my trouble. I could have had these punks taken out. No, I want to do it myself. My blood was hot. Got to be my hands. It was after midnight. The three of them was in the joint facing the door, the fur coat thrown over a chair. I had a long leather coat on with a pistol in each pocket. Automatics can jam, but they're faster. Only one way in or out to Guiso's diner, no back door. I come in the door smiling. Hola, Chucho! Then I started smoking with both pieces. Chucho said, Espera, Carlito! That's as far as he got. We were going to talk, all right. I killed him standing up. Hold on. Then I started smoking with both pieces. Chucho said, Espera, Carlito! That's as far as he got. We were going to talk, all right. I killed him standing up. His partner, Nelson, took two in the chest. He had something on him, but he never got off. The third guy split out the door, taking tables with him. I chased him past the Park Palace into the park, but he was moving. Wait, another damn train. I chased him past the Park Palace into the park, but he was moving, Jim. But he was moving, Jim. But he was moving, Jim. He got away. I come back for the coat. Some motherfucker had copped it. I come out and see Nelson crawling under a parked car. I bent down and put another cap in him. He screamed like a pussy. I quit the scene in a hurry. Now, I was in a real jackpot. Everything was fucked up. Everything was fucked up. Why I gotta be such a hothead? I blow town. I blow town. Get upstate around Newburgh. Earl, my man, came up to see me. Earl, my man, came up to see me. Rocco be hot as a motherfucker about you, bro. He say you done blown the whole dude. He's right. That macho shit of yours shows you ain't no boss. 3 street punks, you could have skinned them cats 20 different ways without had to be, Earl. It was coming. I just got off first. It's always something. 1 second. had to be, Earl. It was coming. I just got off first. What's to be? Cuba, Carlito. Cuba? What the hell I'm gonna do in Cuba? Lay cool. You're driving down to Miami, then take the ferry to Havana. Rocco's sending a guy named Vinny to pick you up. You have the other half of his dollar bill on him. Watch the speed limits driving down. When you get to Havana, he'll connect you. You'll be there a while. You'll be there a while. When things calm down here, Rocco will send for you. Wait a minute, Earl. Wait a minute. I got a self-defense case here. I could beat this in court. Tell Rocco to get me Murray or Kleinman. How you sound? That Nelson punk is alive, a material witness with $100,000 bail. Now, how we know if he's gonna stand up? Gotta get that bail down, baby. Then we know what he's told the DA. If push comes to shove, we can wash him. But right now, you need time. Get it? Time. What about the other kids? Chucho's underground. The third guy's still running through the park. Don't worry about them. Well then, we go to Cuba. This guy Vinny shows up the next day. The dollar halves match, and we're off in the caddy. And I mean off. This dude wouldn't sleep or talk. A driving sphinx. A driving sphinx. A driving sphinx. In 20 hours, we're in North Florida. We're humming on an empty, we're humming on an empty stomach of highway. We're humming on an empty stretch of highway when they were in the rear view mirror. Bulls, they pull us over. Stormtroops, 6'2" and twice as wide as a... Stormtroops, 6'2" and twice as wide and as mean as they was wide. Wide-brimmed hats, pearl-handled revolvers. They must still be killing Indians around here. License and registration. License and registration. Yes, sir, says Vinny, showing his license. We're both out of the caddy. There he goes, hey, driving a big old Cadillac from the big city. Where y'all barreling ass to? Where y'all barrel assing to? Oh, shit. We're going to Miami, sir, says Vinny. But the more you give, the more they push. All you ginzos come to Miami and Tampa. I'm Spanish. I'm hot. You ain't nothing but a Cuban nigger. I threw a short right hand just below the breastbone. He went down on his ass, cowboy shit and all. He'd have shot me for sure, but his partner stopped him. They handcuffed and slapped us around. Then they took us to a diner on the road. The cook took his apron off and come out as the fucking magistrate. The bulls told him what happened. Good God almighty damn, can't decent folks be on our roads without getting run over with these here big cars. I swear, it's a goddamn shame. And now they want to be assault and peace officers. God damn it. 1 second. Couple of mafia boys, huh? Well, that don't cut no ice right here. We'll put your ass on the chain gang. Y'all hear? The chain gang. I gotta wait till that passes. 1 second. And then here goes the train. Here goes the train. Poopity scoop. love it when the sirens get louder and louder and louder. A couple more seconds. If he was trying to scare me, he sure as hell was succeeding. I was scared shitless. Yeah, you little old boys are in trouble. Serious trouble. Now, what kind of car was that? A Cadillac? Let me talk to the driver. Take this here other boy out. They took me to a back room. My ass was low. I'll be breaking rocks in a chain gang, and if I'm lucky, the warrant will come down on the NY homicide. After a while, Vinny came to get me with the bulls. They drove us to a bus depot. Not a word was said. Then they put Vinny and me on a bus headed for Miami. The man wanted the car. Yeah. Man got the car. Yeah. End of conversation. Don't worry, we're waiting with you. Thank you, Kalina. And now for chapter 3. One more second. Chapter 3. Havana was really jumping in those days. Best town I was ever in. Tropicana, Montmartre, with chorus lines of mulatas that put anything in New York to shame. You could party 24 hours a day. Olga Guyot, Benny Moore, Rolando La Serie, they were all there. La Aragon, Casino La Playa, Cascarita, gambling, pussy, coke, wide open. Fidel sure fucked up a good thing. The mob was into all the casinos, and I was hanging around the tables a lot. Pretty soon, I teamed up with this Cuban named Nacho Reyes. He was the bodyguard for a senator and had connections all the way to the president. The setup was different there. Every Politico had his own crew working for him, like private little armies. Everybody was robbing, but you had to be in the government. So at election time, things would get rough. Murders were all right. Unbelievable. Murders were all right. Hurry the fuck up. Train. Oh, hurry up. Oh, this is annoying. Murders were all right, as long as you had your rabbi. Cops and robbers were all mixed up. If your man was in you, were a cop, uniform and all, If your man was in you, were this don't make sense right here. If your man was in you, were a cop, uniform and all. If not, you'd be a robber trying to get him in. Wild. Nacho was a stone killer. He iced a guy when he was 16 years old and kept right on going. He had bullet holes all over his body. I never saw him eat anything, but he would snort coke all day and night. With a piece in his hand, he was like a cat, a badass. He said he had heard about me in New York, that I had cojones. I learned a lot from Nacho. One night, we walked into his joint. Damn it. One night, we walked into this joint, and right away, I could see it was a setup. The door was closed behind us. The jukebox was loud. The bartender looked like he was going to start crying. The hairs on the back of my neck said, "These motherfuckers are going to kill us." Nacho saved our ass. He threw his arms around the boss man there. "Mi hermano, I have come to your house to have a drink with you as your guest. Carlito from New York. I have spoken to him about a Cuban hospitality." Nacho ate crow, but he saved our lives. After we left, he said, "Only a fool throws himself head first. When you are outgunned and your only exit is death, you compromise. Le comes el cerebro. When the time is right, you strike, but you never hesitate. That is why I am alive and have buried a dozen men. The coke is in my nose, but not on my brain." I was in Cuba for over a year having a high old time. I was in the beach club, had a Cuban old lady. Earl would send me money when I needed it. My Cubanita was a hooker, but she was a very classy broad and moved in good circles. She spoke very refined Spanish and had elegant hands. I'd forget she was turning tricks. She'd tell me how great I was, how I wasn't cut out to be a knockaround guy. She was going to con a con man. Ha! Then I got the word from Earl. Everything is set. Come on home. Adios, Cubita la Bella. I surrendered to the DA's office, accompanied by my lawyer, Morris Steinhardt. They took me to the 6th floor Homicide Bureau for interrogation before arraignment. They got to be fucking kidding. They questioned me in teams. Damn it. Fucking bums of anarchy. They questioned me in teams. The first team was threatening me, hooping and hollering. The second team was going to save me from the first. Only I got to tell them the truth about the murder. Only I got to tell them the truth about the murder. Name and address. That's all they got. I'm arraigned in Central Sessions that afternoon. Murder in the first degree. I could get the electric chair. Jesus. No bail. They hold me in the tombs. Tombs is right. Couldn't take a shower. Place smells bad. Food's worse. Food worse. Food worse. Food worse. The word is that I am in good shape. All they got is a bus driver who says he saw me chasing a guy into the park with something in my hand, but he's not sure what. Guiso's going to say how Guiso's going to say he saw me around his joint that night but didn't see me at the time of the shooting, and that he drove to the floor without looking and saw as soon as he heard the first bang. The guns were never found, and to add to the confusion, ballistics is going to show Chucho and Nelson were shot with different guns. Like there was more than one guy shooting. They got no statement out of me since I come in with my lawyer. Earl tells me that Nelson is all right. He don't know who did what. All he knows, he was shot. I don't go for this. I say, watch Nelson. But Rocco says it will look bad. So I go along with them. Meanwhile, I got troubles with my fucking lawyer. He's getting big bucks and he ain't doing shit. I got to lead him by the hand all the way. They're like these doctors who ask you what's wrong with you if you know what the hell you need them for. Shit. I break it all down for the lawyer. All the motions I want made. I want all the statements from all the witnesses. I want the yellow sheets on all the prosecution witnesses. I want the case dismissed for lack of prosecution. The lawyer says that ain't got no merit because I ran away. Ran away shit. Who ran away? I wasn't there. I just went to Cuba for vacation. And if I was there, I ran away from the same gang. The same gang of guys that shot Chucho and Nelson. I ran for my life. This old con Walter down from Dannemora on his own writ told me what I had to do. He should know. He's been drawing writs for 20 years. Me and Walter got together and wrote a summation for my case. Walter will sound off in the tank. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. I gotta check this out. I gotta do my Kennedy impression. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, y'all is here to determine if in this here boy be innocent or he be guilty. Now you got to know that this be important to the defendant. Now right away, the DA gonna say that the case is important to the peoples too. Now what kind of nonsense is that? The peoples can't go to jail. The peoples can't go to electric chair. It's only this here boy can go so damn sure more important to him. The judge, he gonna tell you about reasonable doubts. I say, ain't no reason to doubt that this boy be innocent. Ain't no haps here, folks. Ain't even perhaps. Now what went down here, I'm gonna tell you all. The deceased, may his soul rest in peace, he were a villain. He done been busted for everything in the book: assault, robbery, burglary, dope, and even unlawful entry on a young lady. He wasn't nothing but a dirty dog. He was uptown. What was he doing uptown? I'll tell you what he was doing uptown. I'll tell you what he was doing uptown. He was gorillaing peoples, mugging peoples, innocent, hard-working peoples. Like the defendant, that's what he was doing. Ain't nobody gonna miss that mother. I'ma say it. That Chucho deserved killing. That don't mean the defendant killed him, but he deserved it. Now the DA gonna say my man here killed Chucho. That be a dirty lie. If and he was them, he didn't kill no Chucho, and I ain't saying he was them. If and he was, there he was running for dear life. There was shooting going on in that joint. Yes, sir. Chucho will tell you that. Chucho will tell you that. What's a man to do but run? Shit. All your heads pop, pop, pop. My feet gonna run right out from under me. Y'all people got to hip up that this wasn't no Waldorf Astoria. This was Harlem. It's me now, them. Now, Guizo, he didn't see nothing. He hit the dirt. And I don't blame him. But you think if he saw who shot up his customers, he wouldn't say? Darn right he would. But he ain't gonna lie. He don't know. He don't know ballistics. He don't know. Wait. I hate interruptions. He don't know. Ballistics? What did they say? They didn't say nothing except that they was... Another train. 1 second. They ain't say nothing except that there was 2 guns used. Who was the defendant then? Wild Bill Hickok or Wyatt Earp? With 2 guns? You gotta know. There was a whole lot of guns there. And what about Chucho and Nelson? What was they packing? It weren't no Parcel Post. And what about this third dude who got away? And what about this third dude what got away? Where is he? Where is he? That be the mystery here. Why the DA don't bring him here? Where he hiding? Why he hiding? Go to China? DA gonna find you? Go to Magnolia? DA gonna find you. Go to Spotsylvania? DA gonna find you. Meanwhile, he can't find this dude what was seen running in the park. That park ain't so big. That park ain't so big. He got to come out sometime. Somebody is jiving. And the cops in this case, thank you, Kalina. Great accent, she says. And the cops in this case, what they'll tell you. That man coming in his own voluntary. That my man come in under his own voluntary. Yes, sir. He come in under his own reconnaissance. He was out of town on business a while. When he heard the law was looking for him, and he come right on in. Ain't no lamb Mr. Hit. Here he here to face the charges. Let's talk about this here Nelson. You saw him slipping, sliding, and gliding here, didn't you? Ooh-wee, what a dirty dog. Talking about stealing a hot stove. This turkey was steal the stove, the pots, the pans, and the dirty underwear. It's a damn dirty shame. The DA, with all his money, got to bring in such a no-account witness. I get sick in my stomach. Think about that, Nelson. Pardon me while I drink some water. I'm gonna do it too. Yes, sir. Jesus Christ. He actually said that. Let me drink some water. Wait, let me wait for this. That man will deal in Confederate money, a menace to chilling and society. You saw him up there on the stand, shane around, no shave, no tie. He ain't got no respect for this courtroom. I'm gonna let you in on something. You wanna know who the killer is? You really wanna know who the killer is? Don't look no further than that Nelson. There he be, brazen as all get out, with the mark of Cain on him. And he ain't even got no tie on. Whereupon, look at my man here. Clean, respectable, white shirt and tie. There ain't no killer sitting right there. That's a Puerto Rican right there. And that's why he's there. Every time something happened uptown, the police run out and grab the first Puerto Rican or Negro they could get their hands on. Prejudice is here. Yes, it is, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, come to me last night when I was thinking what I am going to tell them intelligent peoples on that jury. Yes, sir. I believe the good Lord, in his infinite wisdom, he done shot it to me as I lay here thinking. And here's what I heard. This here Nelson and Chucho had a shootout between them. That's why each was shot with bullets from different guns. They collapsed and the thief ran away with both guns. Why, that's plain as can be. Now I know, ain't no Clarence Darrence, but that don't mean I ain't telling it like it is. You gotta go in the jury room and argue, and you gotta cut this man loose, cause he ain't hurt nobody. Now the law give the DA the last word. That ain't right, but that's the law. But never mind what he say. You remember what I told y'all, cause that's where it's at. About that time, I'd file in like I was the foreman of the jury, and old Black Walter would say, Mr. Foreman, has the jury reached verdict yet? I'd say, we have, Your Honor. And what is your verdict? I'd say, not guilty on all counts. And now we want to lock up all the lying motherfuckers the DA put on the stand. Had a lot of fun with Walter. The real thing went down different. The some bitch lawyer Steinhardt didn't cross-examine Nelson right. On direct examination by the DA, Nelson said he didn't see who it was that shot him and Chucho. That ain't good enough. He's got to say no. That ain't the man. Otherwise, with the other shit thrown in, I'm gonna get tagged. Now, Nelson wants to do the right thing, but the DA has him scared. All Steinhardt has to do is lead him over the hurdles to, no, that ain't the man. but he don't know how to do it. First, he loves the sound of his own voice rolling on the R's. Then he don't never use one second. Then he don't ever use, damn it. One second. Then he don't never use two syllables where six will do. Then he don't never use two syllables where six will do. He wants to know about wind velocity, about 1 foot from the door, and was the doorknob on the left or the right? Did the guy put his left foot in front of his right, or his right in front of his left? And every time Steinhardt gets an answer to his stupid ass questions, he looks at the jury like, aha! Well, by the time Steinhardt got through with Nelson, whatever the DA left out, Steinhardt filled in. So we ended up with Nelson saying, I don't know who. And I was in trouble. I couldn't get on the stand because of my record and all the shit they might bring out. The jury hung up. I made bail, then went back to the street. I was just getting back into the groove when Steinhardt calls me up. Manslaughter in the first degree with a ceiling of 5. A pound? That's too much, counselor. DA, fuck you. DA says he's got a line on that third guy you chased. 1 second. DA says he's got a line on the third guy you chased. He's bluffing. Maybe so, but you're in no position to take chances. Train. This is a PND murder rap. A PND murder rap. There can be no recommendation of mercy. Let me think about it. What was there to think about? I copped. The night before I went in, we had a big party at the Copa. All the boys were there. Everybody was stoned. Nearly everybody. Rocco pulled me aside. Don't feel too bad about what's going in. Don't feel too bad about going in, Charles. It's only a couple of years. Keep your nose clean, and when you come out, you could get next to me. It's taken me a few years, but now I'm ready. The rule about the junk is not for me. The bosses are sitting on millions, and they say, you know You know a do of this. You know a do of that. Meanwhile, they close the books and the soldiers have to drive trucks on the side to live. I told them, there's a demand. There must be a supply. We step out, somebody else will step in. We can't afford that. Matter of economics. All the soldiers and all the gambling and shylocking don't compare to what a few guys can do with junk. There's just no comparison. I was in Europe, and my setup is complete over there. Over here, I've had some trial runs with my boss. So far, okay. He turns his head away, except when I put the money in his hand. Then he looks real hard. Of course, if anything happens, I'm dead. But that's all right. A little balls, a little brain, that's all you need. Why am I telling you this, Charles? Because I want you to go in knowing there's a big place waiting for you when you come out. You stood up under some bad breaks and you've learned how to take orders. I want you by my side. I was approaching my 30s. About time my train came in. Upstate, I went first to Ossining, then to Green Haven. The whole neighborhood was up there. All junkies stealing to support their habit. Seemed like all of a sudden everybody was on junk. Got to be crazy sticking that shit in their veins. Wait. I knew it. Not crazy, just weak. And a bunch of them. Oh my God, bro. Here comes the fucking noise. Don't the sirens start now, God damn it. Not crazy, just weak. And a bunch of them support one strong guy. That's the law of nature. Big fish eat a whole lot of little fish. And one lion eats 20 zebras. Everyone down on the pusher, but he don't push nobody. He only push the dope. He only push the dope. He provides a service. That's all. Somebody got to do it. Somebody wants something, somebody else gonna step out and get it for him. He got to be paid for that. That's the way it's always been. As for me, if they're gonna give me my druthers, I'd druther be a fucker than a fucky. I'd druther be a fucker than a fucky. In the joint, I always get in top shape. No coke, no pot, no pussy, so you work out. I always do good time. I don't go around whining about how I got framed again. I am a jodedor, and I'm paying some of my dues. If I'm dressing out of Laytons and driving caddies and Lincolns, there got to be a tab sometime. I got no time for these chumps crying about how they never had no chance because their mammy was a whore or their daddy was a lush. Who wants to hear that fucking shit? You want to be a hoodlum? Be a pro. If you can't take the time, don't do the crime. All these shrink and psycho, mumbo, jumbo artists is making good money on these prison staffs. and they don't know shit. This here is a capitalist country, ain't it? Which means supply and demand and dog eat dog. First is best and fuck the rest. I'll buy that. I'll compete, but on my terms. I'll go for the goodies, but I can't compete with my brains or family or education. So I do it with my balls. I'll take a shot where most people will step back, but if I come out the other side, then I want a bigger cut of the pie. That's the dues the system got to pay. Ain't no mafia in China, but who wants to walk around in pajamas? See what I mean? That's the kind of shit that goes down in the joint. 3 years I had to hear it. Who got 20 whores and 3 Lincolns on the street? All the rice and beans pimps. And who's got the pipeline to the main man in France? All the nickel and dime bag pushers. The criminal mind is a bitch. I don't want nothing to do with these scumbags. I know where I'm going, and it don't include none of them. I'm with them, but I ain't into them. Then there's the sex problem in the joint. When you're in, the worst shank you ever had becomes like a movie star. I've heard guys talk about streetwalkers as the mother of my children and mi señora shit too. And mi señora. Unbelievable. But a whole lot of suffering behind that shit too. I seen stone killers cry on a Christmas or New Year's. I seen a made guy turn his head to a wall and will himself to death because his old lady left him for another guy. Me? I don't give a flying fuck. I stay loose at all times, travel light. Always been like that ever since I hit the street, age 12. Then you got the faggots. Bad news. Once a guy starts on that, you got to put him down. Pretty soon, you don't know who's the poacher and who's the pogee. And you got the legal fact, and you got the legal fact, and you get the legal faculty cons, writing coram nobis and habeas corpses up the ass, arguing cases like they was Earl Warren. If you so slick, why you here? Motherfucker, get the fuck out of my face. Least but not last, you got the stool pigeons. They go round dropping kites on everybody like Chief Judge, Court of Appeals, Federal Courthouse, Foley Square, New York. Your Honor, on April 1st, 1918 at 8:43 a.m., I saw Joe Bajalot sell to Joe Banfangul a kilo of smack. I will be happy to testify about the herein incident. So far, the 5 county DAs, the U.S. Attorney, and the Attorney General have refused to act on my complaint. But I got something on them, too. I know you ain't on the take, so I'll expect to hear from you soon. All I'm asking is consideration on my 4th felony, which I got a bum rap on account of a stool pigeon name of Joe Nugatz. 1 second. I can't wait. Of a stool pigeon name of Joe Ugatz. Are you kidding me? Your friend, Louis Linguini. Louis Linguini. P.S. I'm sending a copy of this letter to your boss in Washington, D.C. District Attorney, New York County, New York, New York. Your Honor. Oh, the fucking noise. Is this incredible? Are you kidding me? Excuse me. Your Honor, on July 4th, 1902, my then lawyer, Oscar Meyer, gave to Detective McNulty of the 32 the sum of $500 to beat my case. Meanwhile, I'm still here. This is an outrage, and I demand to be called as a witness. My time is your time. Sincerely, R.A. Fink. P.S. P.S. I'm sending a copy of this letter to Morris Najari. When a guy goes bad, he's a renegade because he's already lined up against society and now he's going against his own kind. He's in no man's land. And like the guys in no man's land, he's supposed to get killed. Unless he's ratting on the Latins or the blacks, then if he survives the first 24 hours, he's all right. He could sit ringside at the Chateau Madrid or Smalls. Because the spooks and the spics can only stay mad 24 hours, then they forget. Jive ass. But all this noise. But the wops, they could stay mad a long time. One guy's supposed to have been done under 10 years later when he got spotted as an extra in some flick. 10 years, he'd be cool. 10 years, he'd be cool on the West Coast. I heard of spitters going down to Honduras and Panama to ice a rat. Now that's staying mad. With the spics, if a stoolie moves from 111th Street to the Bronx, he's out of the jurisdiction. Jive ass. That's why they all be in Lewisburg or Greenhaven. Wise up, turkey. If you've been in the slams one time, you've been in all of them. But if you're going to survive in there, you got to be cool. Your rep gets there. Your rep gets there before you do. But you got to come in mean, mad as a motherfucker. What you looking at, motherfucker? You talking to a man, you motherless son, bitch. Don't fuck with me. I'll kill you. Barking and growling. Keep a stone face and a tight asshole. Just stink in a minute. Jump stink in a minute. They heard you was bad. Now you got to show them. What for? What for? You slack up and they'll throw a mattress over your head. Ask some young blood from the sticks who goes upstate on some check forgery. I seen some had to have 13 stitches in their asshole. And I see some jump off the rack with a towel wrapped around their neck because some con was in love with them and they couldn't do nothing about it. Warden ain't gonna help you. Hacks ain't gonna help you. It can get nasty in there. Was a stool up there. Black dude ratting his own people out. They caught him in the kitchen. Couldn't hide the body. They cut him into little pieces. Then they ground the pieces. There was a nigga in the salad that night. Nobody know the difference. Nobody know the difference. Then you got them little gem blades that the guys holding the handkerchief. Don't let them corner you in the shower stall. You naked, splice you into spaghetti. You naked, splice you into spaghetti. That's regular. Nobody say a word. And don't be carrying no bad habits over into the jailhouse. Had a thief stole an apple in the mess hall from the wrong guy. Guy put a wooden stake through his Adam's apple. I saw the thief spinning around trying to pull the stake out. He was all by himself. He didn't make it. There's some rotten motherfuckers in there. I can take the food or the hacks. It's them criminals in there I can't stand. Like when you're short timing, waiting on your parole, the cons will provoke you to fight, make you blow your parole. Nasty people. Yeah, Your Honor. Check out the probation report real good. Not all the kids you put in is ready for the joint. Yeah, some of these little old boys you put in here is baby lambs. And you put them in the same cage with a grizzly bear doing consecutive 30-year bits. Rough in there, Your Honor. So like, if you read the report in a hurry, read it again. Because you are fucking with a man's life. Because you are fucking with a man's life. In America, God is dead. You the only one we got left, Your Honor. You a God. You're the only one we got left, Your Honor. You... God! Shut up. You're the only one we got left, Your Honor. Unbelievable. You're the only one we got left, Your Honor. You're the only one we got left, Your Honor. Unbelievable. You're the only one we got left, Your Honor. Easy. When you are God. Are you serious? You are God. Shut two fucks up, please. When you walk in, we stand up. When you walk out, we stand up. You say who lives and you say who dies. You got no boss, and you can change the rules as the game goes along. So check out them lightweights good before you bury them. Now, guys like me, you could deal with, because I'll spit in your eye, Your Honor. I'll get to your DA, or your cops, or even to you. I may be on your hook. But I'm slipping and sliding, and one hitch, and I'm gone. Shit. Kenny Heath Gregory, salute. What up, What's up, peoples? Salute, salute. Good morning. Yeah, well, good evening. It'll be good morning in a few. So check out them lightweights good before you bury them. Now, guys like me, you can deal with, because I'll spit in your eye, Your Honor. I'll get to your DA, or your cops, or even to you. I may be on your hook, but I'm slipping and sliding, and one hitch, and I'm gone. Shit. I'll take you all on, and I'll still come out on top. I was all right in the joint. My man Colorado was doing a deuce, and he had a little clique waiting for me when I got up there. So like at chow time, Colorado was rapping to the boys how bad I am. Carlito did this, and Carlito did that. One dude, Zuzu, ain't impressed. Oh man, who wants to hear that shit? Zuzu was bad, but he wasn't ready. Hot soup bowl right into his face. Left hook, overhand right, then a couple kicks to the chest. While he was down, Zuzu said we was only playing, but they gave me 30 days in the hole. Sold to the door, motherfuckers. I don't need no bread, no water, no mail, no bed, no nothing. Carlito is bad. You hear? Bad. Back in population, I stayed clean. Worked out every day. Did some reading, a lot of rapping. One second. Oh my gosh, all of this noise. One second, y'all. Should be making me hot. Back in population, I stayed clean. Worked out every day. Did some reading, a lot of rapping. I seen guys go in, can't read or write, come out talking Shakespeare. If you don't know nothing, the joint is a real great place. Me, I had all my smarts long before. The word came down, early 60s. The government was building the first big narco conspiracy cases. Get them guineas, said Bobby. And they was got. Vito, Lalo, Big John, Chin, everybody went down. And the feds skinned the cats any way they could. Like with Vito, he only spoke to himself in the mirror in a Neapolitan dialect. Damn it. He only spoke to himself in the mirror in a Neapolitan dialect that that not even an Italian could understand. Meanwhile, the government has him dealing with a junkie PR from the Bronx. Who they jiving? But like they cleaned Nelson up, gave him voice lessons, a good script, and the dude came on like James Cagney. Vito got 15. He must have loved PRs after that. The word came down on Tommy Dunphy. The cons was out in the yard, spooks, wops, PRs, everybody on their own turf. I was jiving around with the Latinos. They was banging on the skins as usual, timbales, conga, and bongos, like a regular fucking band. This Wayo type come over to me. He looked like Mark Lawrence. Pinched in, pot-marked puss, croaky voice. Somebody once told me it's because of the water in Italy, but I think it's from always talking in a whisper, like when you skiing. Anyway, he says, Carlito. Known by that name, Rocco got something for you. We split off from my clique and walk across the yard. You're pals with Tommy Dunphy, right, Carlito? Yeah, we're aces. He goes, Coño, wait a while, what's this? What do you want to know from me? Details? I don't want to know from nothing. My people tell me to tell you, Rocco said so-and-so. Check it out. You in or you out? Okay, but Jesus, give me a clue. Tommy and 2 other kids, brothers, handled a contract in Boston. The brothers got popped. They're giving Tommy up. The boss that ordered the hit says Tommy got to be taken out, saving the trouble of going wrong, which is only a matter of time with the job busted open, capiche? Jesus. Tommy gotta be watched on a just in case. What do you want from me? I don't need this. I don't even work for Rocco or PDA. All right. I'll take care of business. Ciao. Hey, Carlito, how can you stand that shit? What choice I got? Rocco's my man. I don't mean that. I mean that racket from them fucking bongo players, man. I was shook up. He was one of my main men. Tough Irish kid from the West Side Docks. Good club fighter. We used to rap about being stand-up guys surrounded by rats. Bad news. I should have known then that I didn't fit in. But Rocco was counting on me, so I started scheming to get to Tommy. But I liked the guy. He was a down cat. So now I was sweating, kept putting the job off. Some mafioso I was gonna be. A lot of tough wops never get made because they can't hurt people they ain't mad at. Ain't easy, but got to be. Colorado had a shank he kept in a soap bar. Piece of metal honed down. I caught Tommy on the ball field. Caught him from behind. I didn't want to see his face. Slit his throat from ear to ear. He fell on his back, gagging on his own blood. I quit the scene without turning back, but I knew his eyes had to be asking why. God damn it. I quit the scene without turning back, but I knew his eyes had to be asking, why? But he didn't go out. That night, they brought a bunch of us into the hospital where he was laid out like Christ on a cross, pipes and tubes in and out of him. He was wheezing and gurgling terribly. Tommy, you can't make it. Don't let them get away. You can't make it. Don't let them get away with it. You can still talk from the grave. We'll talk for you. You know you're dying. Pick out the cocksucker. They brought us one by one to the side of the bed. He fixed his eyes on me like they were gonna pop out of his head. Tommy, for God's sake, just nod your head up and down. We know it's him, Tommy. You're a Christian. You're a Christian lad. Make your peace with God. Don't let this bastard get away with this. Give us a sign. Tommy rolled his head left and right, left and right. Negative. Captain Shea, there's your dying declaration. The rattling in his throat was getting fierce. I couldn't look at Tommy. I had tears in my eyes. Fucking wops. My nerves were going. Got to make a move. Shea, you Irish motherfucker. You trying to frame me? Shea threw me a sucker right hand, which I caught on my chin. I lay down and let them carry me out. You almost had me that night, Shea, but you blew your cool. That was a bad night. Only time I ever doubted myself. What am I doing? Where am I going? All that head shaker jive that fucks a man up. Start asking questions and they got you. They into your skull. No way, Carlito. Don't let them get to your skull. You're a natural born hustler with iron balls. Get the money. And when they step up, knock them down. That's all there is to it. You start thinking and wording, then they got you. Because they can outthink you and outword you. Then you roll in with their dice. Like society and humanity and all them other R's. Wait. Like society and humanity and all them other T's, they've been trying to fuck you. And all them other T's that's been trying to fuck you. No good. So you wronged the dude. How many times you been wrong? How many times you been wronged? So he stood up. Ain't he supposed to? He's a jodedor, ain't he? Get the fuck out my face. Train. In the morning, I was all right. Tommy was all right, too. He recovered. Then he went back to court on some motion. They put up a big bail for him and gave him a big party. Trains is crazy. They put a big bill for him and gave him a big party. Tommy, there was a round table just before you come out and Mr. A said you done the right thing. So we're going to move you up. You're going to go back on the piers, but with 6 runners turning over to you. No more unloading bananas. You stay clean. So tomorrow, you run over to Layton's, ask for Mel, tell him Mr. A sent you. Get yourself 5 outfits. The works. Look like a boss, smadon, a donkey boss. Don Tomasino Dumferio, uomo di onore. Ha! They buried him in a lime pit. The suit had no labels, but had to go for 3 yard easy. Tommy, you went to You went to your grave thinking, that crazy Carlito tried to kill me. That crazy Carlito tried to kill me for no reason. Spics are like that. You chump. You chump. If you had any smarts, you'd have pieced it together. But they dry humped you with a couple of quarters. You was a nickel and dime hustler, Tommy. But you was a good boy. In the joint, you stay up to date on everything. You stay up to date on everything. Things you wouldn't know on the street, you know right away inside. Whose old lady ain't putting the horns on who? Who's teamed up with who? What crew brought in 50 keys? Who is double-crossing who? Hoodlums gossip worse than whores. Myself, I didn't want to know if one of my old ladies was cheating on me. 'Cause then you got to take an attitude. Then where's your packages and your visits? So I told these motherfuckers, don't be telling me shit about my women. But you're gonna find out anyway, like somebody's old lady be visiting and you know she's tight with your broad. And you know she's tight. And you know she's tight with your broad. Hey, how's my old lady doing? Hey, how's my old lady doing? Real whore-like. She'll bow her head and bite her lip. Don't ask me, man. It ain't none of my business what she doing. Yeah, you got the message. I told all my broads, when I split, you're on your own. Don't be saying how you gonna wait and all that fucking bullshit. I ain't waiting on you. But they still come upstate to see you. They know you're short timing and the bread is still there. Jive bitches. Lots of them drive up to the joint with their new stud, wearing your clothes and driving your car. Kiss you right on the lips too. Make you a cocksucker by proxy. Me, when I go in, I don't want to know from nothing. So, like I paid my dues to society and I'm ready to take my lawful place. So like I paid my dues to society and I'm ready to take my lawful place. Shit, now I'm really gonna double up, deal with both hands. Got to catch up, make up for that lost time. That's what drives the penologists and parole guys nuts. The criminal mind. It is a bitch. Yes, Mr. Dunleavy, I feel that I am ready to take my lawful place in society. Yes, Mr. Dunleavy, I feel like I am ready to take my lawful place in society. I realize that I've been trying to punish my mother for making me out of wedlock. Or like, the man been on my neck all my life, but I know how y'all can't beat the man head on with a pistol in your hand. You got to get yourself a gig, make that bread, then split out on the ghetto. And that's what I'm gonna do. Or like, I believe, gentlemen, that if you give me parole, I'll make good time this time. I'll make good this time. The therapy sessions have shown me what I got is an ethnic identity problem. Yeah, ethnic identity. In other words, my peoples are PRs, but I'm born here. But I'm born here in the city, and I resent that. And there's a crisis. Then I get guilt feelings because I'm putting down my own people, and that's another crisis. And like that. But that's all straightened out now. I found myself, and I'm ready to get that job and work hard. Bullshit. The cons are jiving the man, but the man is jiving the cons. We know what they want to hear. And if you ain't got the mental, there's always a con to feed you your lines. Somebody got a paper on it. They got habeas corpses, coram nobis, appellate division, court of appeals, clemency, communication, copulation, you name it. They got a brief on it. Full of shit most of the time, but just enough to keep you hanging when they get lucky. Around 61, the map case came down. All the cons went ape. Everybody writing papers, and the jailhouse lawyers were riding high, talking all that jive about searching and seizing illegal evidence. The possession cases, dope and guns, started getting thrown out. Shit, everybody gonna get out except me. That cocksucker Steinhardt of 420 Broadway railroaded me up here. Didn't I get searched and seized? Why didn't he make a motion to suppress me? Why did MAP have to come after me? Why wasn't it Brigante? These are the questions I wrote to him. And I reported his ass to the Bar Association as an incompetent counsel. And I told them how I was innocent, which I believed myself by now, and that the goddamn lawyer had defrauded me into pleading guilty. I didn't know I pleaded guilty on account of I'm a PR and my English ain't that good, and the day of the plea I was sick with a fever, plus headaches, plus the lawyer guaranteed me probation, plus the probation report told a bunch of lies. I'll fix a Jew ass, Mr. Steinhardt. But my writ wasn't worth a shit, and they threw it out. That's me, always behind, como los huevos del perro. Everybody. Everybody gets the word but me. Everybody gets the edge but me. I got to do everything the hard way, never no break. Every favor I take, I got to pay double. Uphill, all the way. But I'll get even with all those motherfuckers. I'm going out of this joint. Embalao. I'm gonna tear up that street. Okay, that's about the size of that. Let me type in Carlito's way. Two. Okay, save that. Save project. X everything out. And that's that. Yes. That feeling of triumph, you know, so satisfying. Whew, it's hot in here. The project heat. Those that know, they know. Where my NYCHA people at? salute. Because y'all know firsthand what it's like to be in hell. But I gotta say, folks, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter whatsoever. I'm, in fact, thankful that you guys spent some time with here tonight. And you guys are fully appreciated. Let there be no doubt about that. But in the meantime, kind, sexy folks, stay sexy. And go over on Spotify or anywhere where you listen to your favorite podcasts and look for Bounce, The Art of Bounce. That's my other podcast. And of course, Bounce has its own YouTube channel. And Bounce is in just about every social media platform there is. With all those things being said, though, check me out next time. I'll be back in a couple of days. In the meantime, sexy folks, stay sexy. It becomes you. I'll see you next time on the next edition of Ralph Reads Raw. Arrivederci.